to recording, and we're ready to go. My name is Dr. Roz. I am one of the co-owners of a company by the name of Wakana. And what is so important to me today and tomorrow, that's why I'm doing this blitz, doing this presentation at 10, 12, 2, and 5. We are in the midst of this coronavirus that's spreading like wildfire. Different cities, different states are in such dire need. And first of all, let me say, I'm not making any claims. I'm not saying I've got an antidote for it. We're not making any claims of curing or we have the solution. But what we do have are some facts. What we do have is some science that some of us are not aware of, that we need to be aware of. So what's the big deal about cannabis? If you're like me, I come from the old school where back in the day, we did that. We may have smoked a joint or two. Come on, don't tell on yourself, anybody. But what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Is there something important that we need to know? Well, I'm going to give you I want you to know about some studies. There are some studies that CBD oil helps the immune system. And Dr. Rita, and I'll talk more about her in a minute, she likes to say it balances the immune system. And why is that important? The reason that's important, especially now, the reason that's important is because those people who are being greatly affected by the coronavirus are those individuals whose immune system is deprived. Their immune system is not functioning to its highest peak, or it's overprotective. So those are the ones who are being critically affected by the coronavirus. So again, I'm not making a claim. I don't have the virus. They're still working on the virus. Matter of fact, now they're taking people who have started to recover and they're asking them to donate plasma to help those people who are still ill, because for some reason their immune system has fought back. And that's what the job of the immune system is to be able to fight back. When you get a cold or when the moment wintertime comes, my husband and I, we start taking vitamin C. Vitamin C to boost up our immune system. So if we come in contact with somebody sneezing, somebody's got a cold, we won't be so quick to catch it. Okay, that's somebody that's writing on my screen. I don't know who that is, but please don't do that. Let's see how, I don't know how to get it off of there. I didn't know anybody could do that. Let's see. Let's see if I can figure out how to clear that off the screen. Okay, I'm going to try to go on past that. Okay, there it is. All right. So the bottom line is that CBD oil can boost, it can bring harmony, it can balance the immune system. It can reduce inflammation. Do you know that inflammation is really what is one of the big problems we have in our bodies when we have sicknesses and illness, whether it's diabetes, whether it's high blood pressure, all these different ailments really are caused by inflammation. And if we had something that would reduce that inflammation, well, studies show that that's CBD. It even improves quality of sleep, optimizes brain health, and lower your anxiety. It's an antiviral. Studies show it's an antiviral. Are y'all getting this? So we need to be informed. We need to know about this. Now, pharmaceutical companies probably want to put it in a pill and all these kind of things, but it's a plant from the ground that God made. And I'm going to get more into that. But it nourishes your endocannabinoid system. You don't know, well, what's an endocannabinoid system? Just hold on and I'll show you. Stress. The most stressful people, everybody's going through stress right now. You're stressed out because you don't know for the unknown, not knowing. And depending on what city you're in, you're more stressed than other cities. So what can we do about it? Some people are losing sleep. They're not even sleeping well. Well, let me tell you something. We've got products. CBD is helping people to sleep with anxiety, with body aches. So then the question is why? Why CBD? The first slide I had out there said, what's the deal? What's the deal about CBD? Why? Well, let's have a little history lesson. In 2737 BC, that's the first use of medical cannabis by the Chinese emperor. So for us to hear about it like we're hearing about it now and to think it just came around, no. Cannabis has been around forever. Didn't I say that it's a plant that God made from the ground? So there's history behind this. It's been used for over 80 years as an analgesic, for pain. And in the 1600s, it was mandatory for the farmers to plant hemp. That was mandatory. But then we come on up to the 1900s and the Mexican Revolution, and then the Mexican immigrants brought it to the United States, and they started smoking marijuana, and then we move on to what? The war on drugs. And you know who got locked up for the war on drugs, right? Yeah, it was mostly our black and brown boys. They got the raw end of that deal, and other people just got a little slap on the wrist and kept it moving. So let's understand, let's educate ourselves. If you're like me, you only knew about one thing, and that's marijuana. When you hear cannabis, you think marijuana. And so you get to an age where you're saying, I'm not trying to get high. Well, that's not what we're talking about, because there are two sides to this plant. There's two sides to the cannabis plant. There are two sides to the cannabis. There's two species. The marijuana side is high in THC, which is what gets you high, and low in CBD. Has traces of it. But the hemp side of the plant, and that's what I'm talking about today, is the hemp side of the plant. It is high in CBD and low in THC. The hemp side of the plant is also what's legal. So there's so many uses for hemp. And matter of fact, you go to the grocery store and you can get hemp seeds and put them on your salads, and use hemp for fabric and textiles and rope. Even Henry Ford had hemp ethanol for his first Ford. And the next house you probably buy will probably be made of hempcrete, building material that will be more energy efficient, it will last longer, last for hundreds of years compared to concrete. So there are over 50,000 uses for hemp. That's why there's so much money being made concerning hemp. And that's why you got people getting excited about these laws that are being changed, because farmers are going to start growing it. It's been passed in the state of Texas. It's been passed in other states completely across the board. So it's a lot to be made. But what is it? What is CBD? What is CBD? Now, let me go on record saying all CBD is not equal. Because as you notice, you can go down the street and you see it everywhere, right? It's popping up. I mean, little stores, little corner stores. I wouldn't go buy it in one of them little corner stores. I wouldn't go buy it anywhere that I walk into the door and the person cannot tell me what does the initial CBD stand for. Nobody that can explain to me how it works. I wouldn't buy it from them. So you got to be careful. So all CBD is not equal because it's not regulated. They can say something's in it that's not in it, but understand what it is. It stands for cannabidiol. It's the second most common cannabinoid that's found on both sides of the cannabis family. But it's the most common cannabinoid found in the hemp plant. It's health without the high. I need you to understand that. I want you to say that, help without the high, like a preacher. I'm a minister. My doctorate is in theology. Say it with me, help without the high. So it has no mind-altering effects like THC. You can't get high off of it. And I'm gonna give you an example a little bit later how somebody just got blown away because they thought they would get high off of it, and you cannot, because it only has trace amounts of THC. How does it work? We all have an endocannabinoid system. You have one, I have one, all of God's children have one. And the endocannabinoid system is the most regulatory system in our human bodies. Now, our chief medical officer said that they did not teach about the endocannabinoid system in medical school. They taught about the respiratory system, they taught about all the other systems, digestive system, everything, but not the endocannabinoid system. And it's made up of a group of molecules called cannabinoids and their receptors. These receptors are all over our body, in every area of our body. And this system keeps our function stable, brings our body into harmony, puts our body into homeostasis, helps to regulate or bring harmony to or balance our immune system. Why am I going to keep saying that? Because that's what we need in this era of our lives more than anything else. With this coronavirus, if your body's in homeostasis, if your immune system is strong, guess what? Even if you get exposed to it, you've got something to fight. So the endocannabinoid system, it controls how we think and how we feel and how we react to things. It was discovered by an Israeli scientist in 1964. This discovered by scientists while he was only trying to understand, why does THC make you high? And he stumbled up on the endocannabinoid system. He wasn't looking for it. Amazing when you're not looking for something, but God has a way of revealing something to you. So, where are these receptors? You've got them. All of us have them. All over our body, in your brain, in your heart. People that have heart attacks, if they had CBD, it would go to that receptor in their heart. Teeth. I've known people that have toothaches, and they use our product, and it helped that toothache. They didn't need, what do you call that deadens it. You can just take a puff of one of our vapes. In your stomach, your skin, your bowels, in your kidneys and your liver, your lungs, and your eyes. I've got a friend, he has glaucoma, and he's used our product, and it's helping him see again. It's helping him see things he has not been able to see because of the receptors in the eyes and the oil or the vape or the water soluble, different products that we have. Where does it go? To the receptors in his eyes. Where does it go? It goes to whatever receptor needs it. Whatever receptor is inflamed. Whatever receptor is malfunctioning or not functioning up to par, to bring that receptor up to par, to put it into harmony, to put your body into balance. That's what we need right now. Now, the cannabis plant has over 100 plus cannabinoids. And that's what we call a full spectrum product. And there are some products that are out there in the market that are not full spectrum. They only have CBD. They don't have the other cannabinoids. And if you're watching me on the Zoom webinar, you see this wheel that has all of these different cannabinoids. CBD is one of them. It is the main one. But THC is one. That's why parents would go to other states to get things for their children who had seizures because, and this was stuff that had THC in it, because it was helping that child with the seizures. Charlotte Fiji. It's a well-known documented story about a little girl who was having 300 seizures a day, and she started taking CBD, and they decreased from 300 down to 3 a day. That's amazing. I'd go anywhere else for my child as well. But that had CBD, and some of it had THC in it. But more people want CBD without the high. They want the health properties. But you don't just need the CBD, because there's CBDA, CBG, CBGA, CBC, CBCA. All these cannabinoids, but CBD has more health benefits than all of them. CBD is an antibacterial. I showed you slides at the beginning. It inhibits tumor growth. It's a neuroprotective. It reduces seizures and convulsions. It helps with your blood sugar. I have someone that I sent a bottle to. She was in Atlanta, Georgia. She started taking it, and her sugar was up 300. It dropped to 100 after just taking one time. After taking it for a month, her A1C levels jumped from 100 to 10. I mean, testimony after testimony of how this product is helping people get their life back. I'm going to say it again. It helps the immune system. I take my CBD every day. My husband and I, we take it every single day. Because if I come in contact with the virus, which I don't plan to because I'm going to keep my social distancing, I'm washing my hands, I'm staying in, I'm doing all the things they're asking me to do. But at the same time, we got to take care of our bodies because they don't have it all written down how this thing is working. So if there's something I can do to help build my immune system, and Dr. Rita says there's something more we can do. Take vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc. All of those are things to help your immune system. And guess what? You can find those at the grocery store. Now, you may not be able to find toilet tissue. You may not be able to find paper towels. You may not be able to find any water. You may not be able to find any potato chips or, all that stuff. But go down that produce aisle. You can find vegetables and fruit, and you can find vitamins. Vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc, and get your CBD. And you're going to be in a good position to feel kind of safe. Now, we don't make any claims. We're not making any claims that CBD is a cure. We're not making any claims that CBD will wipe it away. But we are making statements based on studies, based on facts, that CBD has been studied. Studies show it's an antibacterial, it's an antiviral. These are studies that show this. Issues, there are treatments and medical issues that, if you ever could just sit down and hear all the testimonies of people that are coming to us and saying this is what's happening. A lady called me early this morning telling me about her loved one who she took some CBD to, who has cancer. And they were hardly getting along. And they called her back and said they're back on their feet again. Because it's helping. It's helping those patients who, with their chemo and that nausea that they're having, it's helping to reduce that nausea. It's helping to relieve that anxiety. And oh my God, pain. Pain is one of the most Googled words on the internet. Pain is so bad that people have chronic pain and they have just accepted that this is their life. They live with pain. They wake up with pain. They go to sleep with pain. And it becomes their new norm. It does not have to be. It's not a God thing. That's not God's will for your life. God wants us to be pain-free. He says, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in health, even as your soul prospers. And knowledge is power if we apply it. So we're here to bring some knowledge. I'm doing this Blitz webinar and Blitz on Facebook, 10, 12, 2, and 5. I'll be back at 5 o'clock. You're hearing some information that you need somebody else to hear, get them back on at 5. And then our company does something at 8 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, the same thing. But it's not that CBD does the work. CBD doesn't even do the work. It signals the body do the work. God made our bodies to heal itself. So when we supplement our bodies with cannabinoids and feed those receptors, then our endocannabinoid system begins to do what? Work properly. And it begins to self-regulate and to self-correct. So I'm going to say this again. You don't have to get high to get healed. Cannabinoids like THC and CBD have beneficial properties, and they don't cause the euphoria. You won't see a giraffe in your garage, or your world won't just be spinning. No. But then the question is, why now? Why now? Why are we talking about this now? We're not talking about this now just because of COVID-19. No, we've been talking about this since April the 20th when our company started. But why now are we even talking about this industry? Why is this the right industry now? Well, it's the right industry now because now cannabis is mainstream. Because all these different laws that have gone on, and we need to come on board and recognize what's happening. It's not going anywhere. It's mainstream. That's why you see it popping up everywhere. And that's why you see people like John Boehner, who used to be completely against the legalization of cannabis. Now he's on the board of a cannabis company, saying he got an epiphany. Oh my, $3.2 billion that the company just sold for. quite an epiphany, right? Money. And Rolling Stone says it's going to be the expected star of legalized pot. Walgreens, CVS, they're all coming on board. Why? Because when seniors and people that are on pharmaceutical drugs start taking CBD, it's very likely that they will take less of that pharmaceutical drugs. I'm seeing it happen. I've heard the testimonies in our own company of people who have loved ones, parents, who are now either not taking that particular drug or either they're taking less of it, less milligrams, on their way to getting off of it. That's powerful. So there's like explosive growth taking place. Do you know in 2015, over $202 million was made on cannabis products, and 90 million of them were on hemp-based products. And they're projecting that by the year 2022, do you know this? We're almost in April. We got 2 more days. But 2 years from now, they're expecting it to be $22 billion. Now, during this virus, we know that many businesses have closed. Non-essential is what they call them. Guess what business has not closed? The CBD business. The CBD stores are still open. Just go, check it out. They're open because CBD is considered to be essential. That's the only way they can still be open. The grocery stores, the restaurants are open for you to drive through, but CBD stores are still open. So our company is concerned about your health, your wealth, your legacy, and your freedom. And that's why it's important. Why now? Why Wakana? Because we're a movement. And we're trying to educate people and help them to end that negative stigma that's caused our communities, our people, to suffer and to lose out on the health and wealth benefits of this plant. We're a catalyst. We're stirring a movement. We're getting people fired up because we're inspiring them to get on this legal space. Not just as a CBD salesman, no, an entrepreneur, a formulator, an investor, whatever area you want to get involved in, there's so much to do to take back your health, your wealth, your legacy, and freedom. But it starts with your health. It's no good if you got wealth and you're not healthy. So let me tell you a little bit about our company. Our company, the name of it is Wakana. Wakana. We started on April 20th of 2019. We're almost there. We're almost 1 year old. We've already done over $1 million in our first year. But it was started by 4 African American women who believe that health, wealth, legacy, and freedom are gifts that belong to all people. Oh man, these phenomenal ladies, our goal is to become the largest and most reputable minority-owned cannabis CBD company in the world. We're going to do that because we're going to operate a full-service cannabis company, from wholesaling and retailing, micro dispensaries, to farming and to manufacturing, the whole gambit, not just selling CBD oil only. We've got the right people working with us. These ladies are phenomenal because their background of who they are and the credibility, that's what just was a blessing to me. Because the CEO is Miss Melissa Boston. She's a CEO extraordinaire. She's been the MVP of 3 companies that she's been a part of. She's a social media strategist. My God, oh my God. And she retired at the age of 33 years old. That lets you know something right there. I might listen to what she's got to say. She may know something. So she's done very well, and she's the visionary behind this. Then there's Dr. Patricia Van Pelt. She's the individual that told me about it and got me here because she is an evangelist. We work together in ministry. My doctorate's in theology, and she's an evangelist as well as a current state senator in the state of Illinois. And she has been involved in helping people get into wealth, just mentored people. That's her mode of operandi, and that's her desire, is to see people be blessed and come out of this situations. And then Miss Phyllis Nash, she's a restaurant entrepreneur extraordinaire, especially because of developing lands and cities and areas, property developer, restaurateur, and we call her our midwife of Wakana. That's because she helps us to birth the possibilities that are on the inside of us. And then last but certainly not least is Dr. Rita McGuire. We call her Dr. Rita affectionately. She's our chief medical officer. She's an OBGYN for over 30 plus years. And she's delivered over 8,000 babies. And she's currently practicing and currently using CBD in her practice. So can you just see the kind of founders, the co-founders we have? We've got a doctor, a senator, an entrepreneur. Can you understand why this is so powerful to have this kind of leadership? And they're African American women. So this is not their first rodeo. They worked with a company prior to starting their own and took them from $8,000 to $250,000 in 18 months. They've had other platforms like Pink Rush and CBD Billionaires where they have tried to expose people to this legal side of the cannabis plant and even other areas of the cannabis industry. When our CEO was traveling and she heard the word Wakana, she found out through research, and she and Dr. Pat got together and they researched the word to see what it meant. And it meant young leaves and total harmony. It meant female, girl, and gift of God. And then the scripture that they applied to that was Psalm 68:11 that says, "The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it." That comes out of Psalm 68:11. And if you look at a different translation, you'll see that it also says, "Great were the women that published it." Powerful, powerful. And we've got core values to represent our company because we believe in TREE. TREE stands for trust, respect, empower, equality, and excellence. Anyone that becomes a part of our company, whether it's becoming a customer, whether it's becoming a distributor, we just want you to be involved with excellence. And those who decide to get into the business side of this, we want you to become owners. So we've got products. Now, during this coronavirus pandemic, it's important that, as I said before, that we put things in proper perspective. So our statements have not been approved by the FDA. Our products should not be used to treat, to cure, to prevent, or diagnose your condition. If you're nursing, pregnant, or on medication, or under doctor's care, always consult with your physician prior to consuming any nutritional supplements. Now, some of you on this webinar, on this Facebook Live, on this YouTube video, already know more than maybe some of your doctors. Because if your doctor has not studied CBD, then Dr. Rita always says he can go and study it because there are over 20,000 peer reviews to do the research. When Dr. Rita first heard about CBD, cannabis, she hadn't heard anything about it, but she did her due diligence. And I challenge you to do your due diligence. When you've got questions, you can get the answers to those questions. So we've got a wonderful product line that can help to balance your immune system, that can help to do all the things we talked about and have the same kind of testimonies you've heard us talk about. But here's the thing. We want you to be able to trust the products. Anybody that you buy products from, you need to be able to trust those products. What is that? Because I say so? No. Because we have rich medicinal hemp that's fully compliant with the State Department of Agriculture. Because we are industrial hemp registered. Because we're compliant with the Farm Bill Act of 2018 that says it has to be 0.3% or less of THC for it to be legal. Because we say we have two product lines, a power and a pure. For those of you that have those random drug tests and you're concerned about if it's going to show up in your bloodstream, which it probably wouldn't with just 0.3%, that's just a trace amount. But it could, because it all depends on how your body metabolizes. So, better safe than sorry, we have a pure line. A pure line that has less than 0.0% of THC in it. But again, whether it's the power line or the pure line, don't get misconstrued here. The power line is still it's non-psychoactive. It cannot get you high because it's from the hemp side of the plant. It's full spectrum, non-GMO. We go through third-party labs. No pesticides, no metals, it's gluten-free, vegan-friendly, 100% organically grown. goes through third-party testing to make sure of that. That's what makes us different. What else makes us different is that we have our own formula. It's called Hempranium. Have you heard of black seed? Have you heard of turmeric? Of course you have. People use that for inflammation. But we have that in our formula. It has black seed, turmeric, coconut oil, and hemp oil, and it's called Hempranium. It's one of our most popular oils that we have. People say, well, what's the difference between this one and that one and this one and that one? Well, they all have the CBD in it. They all have that, whatever amount it says on the bottle. They all have that full spectrum or that broad spectrum being less than 0% of THC in it, but how you take it is what makes the difference. The tincture is what you put 3 drops under your tongue, hold it 60 seconds, and then swallow. Gets right into your bloodstream. Love that. Has a little peppermint flavor. That's the Hempranium. The water soluble is what you put in your water, your coffee, your tea, your shakes, your cocktails, your wine, whatever it is that you're drinking. You can put 3 drops in there and keep it moving, and you've gotten your CBD for the morning. 3 drops in the evening, and you've gotten your CBD for the evening. So we start low and start slow, and our dosage is depending on several different things. The severity of your situation, your weight, that determines how much you take. And we have charts to help you with that. Then we have the Culinary Plus that you can use to bake with in your cookies and your brownies. And just as long as whatever you're cooking, you cook it on low heat and bake below 350 degrees Fahrenheit so you don't burn the oil. Now, the flip side of that is we have those things in the pure, the Hempranium and the water soluble. So if you're one of those persons that has a random drug test, you're a truck driver, or even though you may not be working right now, when work starts again, the first thing they might do is do a drug test to see what you've been doing while you've been off. So be safe and take our pure product. Then we got the Pain Relief Topical. My God, this we can't keep this on the shelf because people use it. I mean, I had a presentation not too long ago when we were still having physical contact with people. And he came in with pain in his shoulder. I had put some on his shoulder while I did the presentation. 15 minutes into the presentation, I stopped in the middle of it and asked him how was he doing, and he didn't feel his pain anymore. Because it's got 0.3% of THC. Yes, it does. Even if you get drug tested, you can use it because it's a topical cream. It doesn't break the blood-brain barrier. It doesn't get into your bloodstream. And it's got peppermint and black seed and cloves and cinnamon and turmeric and orange and menthol crystals and sweet basil and spearmint and sunflower lecithin. All of that sounds really good. It smells good, but it works. People leave, people not have pain. Some people have, their pain is gone instantly almost. Some people it takes a couple of minutes. Some people it takes about 15 minutes. Everybody's body's different. But the products are working. It's got 200 milligrams of CBD. And if you don't want the cream version, we now have the oil version. Dr. Rita's Rub. Just drop 3 drops right there on the spot where the pain is, where the arthritis is, where the back pain is, where the neck pain is. You had a surgery and you're still in pain. We don't want you in pain anymore. So get Dr. Rita's Rub. Then you're having trouble sleeping. This is what people mostly say when they take our gummies. And you don't even have to take a whole gummy, just a half a gummy, because it's got 25 milligrams of CBD in each gummy. Infused. There's some products out there on the market, they're not infused. Read the labels. It's coated with CBD. Ours are infused. Helps with sleep, sex, and inflammation. They come in a 4-pack. They come 20 in a bottle. We've got them in the power and the pure. What does that mean? Again, power, 0.3% or less of THC. Pure, less than 0.0% of THC. We do have vapes. Yes, we do. We're not shying away from vapes because there's nothing wrong with vapes if you have them correctly and they're not being bought off the black market. Our vapes are sealed. They have CBD, coconut oil, black seed, and turmeric in them. And they're not, it's not like a cigarette that you're smoking all day long. No, this is when you've got, especially now, you're stressed. Hit the vape, one or two puffs, you're good. It calms you down. It brings your body back into balance. It gets those nerves off of edge. And not only do we have the vapes, we got a power, we got pure that's coming. We've got a raspberry jane that has a raspberry flavor, but we also have what we call a pre-rolled joint. Now, here's my story. This joint looks just like a marijuana joint, just like it. But it's 163 milligrams of pure CBD and less than 0.3% of THC. Here's my story. Gave it to a brother. My husband and I visited in the country, small town in Georgia. They were sitting around on the stoop, playing loud music in the cars, and they were smoking joints. Not CBD joints, the real deal. And so I told him about this, and he said, okay, I want one. He took it. I saw him the next day, because he didn't talk to me that day. I saw him the next day. The next day he walked to me saying, I don't want no more of that stuff, because it messed up his high. It messed up his high. He was high, and he did not want it to mess up his high. He said it cleared up his head, made him thinking straight, made him walking straight, and he didn't want no more of that. But it was good for me, because it let me know the power of that CBD. 163 milligrams of that straightened him up, cleared him up. And so we have people that this is what they do. They puff it 1 or 2 times in the morning to get their day started. When there's anxiety, when there's pain, when there's depression. We had a testimony of a lady who was depressed, and she used her pre-rolled joint and she used her vape, and it cleared her up and it got her out of that place. Sometimes you get in that place. That's, I call it a funk. That funk comes over you, and then you need that pre-rolled joint or that vape to help you just get out of that so you can move on. That's what it's good for. Even the body mango cream. I've used that on my leg. I had a rash that was really, really bad, not looking really good. I'd go to the gym and the ladies would see it. And now they look at it and say, oh, look at that. Your rash is almost completely gone, because I've been using the Power Mango Body Cream, because the skin is what? One of those receptors. CBD is being used to nourish my body. And then we have a CBD lube. Those persons who are having a little difficulty or need that extra help in the bedroom, it's called CBD lube, Cherry Bliss. Makes you happy. And listen, on Black Friday we released a lot of other products that we use in the kitchen. So now I cook with it. We have an oil, a culinary oil. It's got grapeseed oil in it. We've got seasonings. We've got a butter. So your whole day can be encountered with just little traces of CBD, and all that's doing is building up and bringing harmony to your body and balancing your immune system. And then last but not least, recently we released what we call hemp-powered hair. And we've already got testimonies of people who seeing their hair grow. They have alopecia and the losing of hair, and they're using it over and over in those areas. You can use it internally under your tongue, or you can put it physically on that area where the hair has been lost, and people's hair is starting to grow, some 2 weeks, some 3 weeks. They're seeing it just blossom before their very eyes. Now, we especially align ourselves with the world's leading formulators, scientists, doctors, and experts, because we want to make sure our products are safe and effective. All of our batches are tested for the highest quality and potency, and to ensure that it's consistency and purity of terpenes, essential fatty acids, and phytonutrients. But the best thing about our products is they work. And we have testimonies upon testimonies. Every Friday we have a particular conference call that we hear people give their testimony of how the products work. And sometimes it brings tears to your eyes, because people have been in situations for years. As I said, pain. They've been in pain for years. And now for them to say that they're pain-free, you hear tears in their voice when they're talking about it. So if you're on this webinar, on this call, and you're saying, hey, where can I get the products? Well, if you came to my Facebook page and you came here because I sent you here or that sent you here, my website is there. If somebody else sent you to this webinar, to this Zoom, to this Facebook page, get back with them. They've got a website. And just go to the website and purchase, or call them and talk to them about what you want to purchase and get your products. Start working on building your health. My website is Dr. Roz, that's DRROZ, .wakana.com. Wakana is WAKANNA. But do whatever you got to do to get products in your hand. They won't take long, 3 or 4 days, you'll have your products. Now, if you're also saying you know other people, then get them on any of these other webinars or calls. And if you're saying, how can I do this? Can I get in the business? Can I get my own website? Absolutely. But before we do that, you got to understand what we're concerned about. We have the process of making sure you're going to be educated, and that's called Wakana University. It's the source of cannabis education and wealth creation, because we want to make sure that you've got education so that you can ascertain the wealth. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that the human mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. You've gained some knowledge today. I know it. I know I did the first time I heard it, if this is your first time. And you'll never go back to the size of your brain, because now it has been expanded because you have some more knowledge. But you've got to know that we want to make sure that you know about business development, personal growth, and wealth creation. We also want to make sure that you know and are able to say, I wasn't always able to say cannabinoid or tetrahydrocannabinoid or all these different terminologies and sound like I really know what I'm talking about. No, I had to learn it. You'll learn how to dispense and learn how to make money in edibles and how to start a dispensary. Even learn some things about stock companies. All that's a part of our Wakana University that costs actually $199. But I'm going to show you there's a way that you can actually get that available to you without paying that $199. But if you just wanted to do that alone, it would be $199 one time. And you can become certified as a Wakana-preneur. We want everybody to know and have a comfort level so you can have confidence when you talk about it. So Wakana University is the process that helps you reap all the benefits of cannabis in this generation. And we're concerned about leaving a legacy. We know that the Word of God says that we ought to leave an inheritance, not for our children, but for our children's children. So 1% of all of our profits helps to feed children and empower communities, because we are the pathway to ownership. Now, after we've talked about all that, and I've told you what to do if you're ready to get product, well, what if you want to start business? What if you want to start your own business? You know, this is the most ample time. This is the right time to start a home-based business. This is the time you need one. When you can't go to work and you're waiting on the stimulus, you're hoping it'll come tomorrow, but it'll be next month. You don't know when it's going to be. You know how the government does. But we're waiting on it, right? But what if you could have your own home-based business and things are happening for you because people need this product? I've given you reasons why people need to get it, because it's going to help them physically. But what if you could make money? What if you could make money because your website is out there and that loved one who doesn't live in the same town that you live in? See, if somebody lives in your city, you could just get them some product. But what about that person that lives in another city, another state? They need to be able to go to your website. Well, how can you do that? How can you become a business person? Because there are ways to get paid here. If you can't go to work, and many jobs are laying people off, some people are just laid off temporarily. We don't know. There's this uncertainty. We don't know how long it's going to be. So at Wakana, you've got 7 ways to get paid. You've got this online dispensary. You've got retail sales. And if you share it with somebody else who shares it with somebody else, you've got retail overrides. You've got broker earnings, just because you shared it with somebody and now you receive compensation for sharing it. And then if they shared it with somebody, you've got overrides for that. And then you've got a wealth pool. We've got rankings in our company. And when you reach certain ranks, you are able to tap into that pool of wealth, that pool of money that's set aside every month. And when you get to a certain rank, you get a car allowance and you get free trips. So let's just touch on these just a minute, because I don't want to stand in line and have to pay millions of dollars to get a marijuana dispensary. That's the kind of money it takes to even have that, to have a physical dispensary, it's a lot of money, licenses that you have to pay for, and you might not even get approved. But let's talk about how easy it would be, because edibles is what's needed. People need those gummies, people need the oil. So just for $998, what do I get for that? You get $2,000 in value. You get product in your hand, shipped to you, $1,500 worth of product. We're talking about you're going to get gummies, you're going to get the oil, you're going to get the tincture, you're going to get the water soluble, you're going to get the topical cream, $1,500 worth of product that you can use and sell. If you sold it all, you'd make $1,500, a little bit more, because it's always more. It's never exactly $1,500 in product. It's usually a little bit more. And you're going to get, remember I said that certification? You're going to get 2 of them. If you buy it, it's $199. Here you get 2 of them, one for yourself and one to give away to somebody else. And you're going to get what we call a broker master key. That means you can actually give away free websites. Give them away. Here, try this website, try it for 30 days. And what can they do in the 30 days? They can sell product on their website. That's where, remember those overrides I talked about? If they sold product on their website, you'd get an override of what they sold. But they only get it for 30 days. Now 30 days, third day 31, they've got to make a decision to upgrade to the package you got, or this Crown Jewel dispensary, or maybe they upgrade to a personal dispensary. The personal dispensary is $500 worth of product, opposed to $1,500 worth of product, opposed to $299 versus $998. They get $500 in value, 1 of everything or 2 of a couple of things. Use yourself, give it to a few family members, sell it to a few family members. Get the store for 30 days. Then you decide, I'm going to upgrade to the Crown Jewel, or I'm going to put half down on the Crown Jewel. I mean, all kinds of ways it can be done, because even if you want the Crown Jewel dispensary and you say, okay, I want to do this, but I don't have the $998, put half down and get it. Put half down, and in 30 to 45 days, pay the other half down. And that way you're starting your business. Even during a time that we live in right now, it's worth doing to set yourself up that it won't matter to you what takes place in our economy. The main thing is you understand that even with the online dispensary alone, you're going to earn money without holding any inventory. You're going to earn 20 to 50% of anything that anybody purchases. Even if you yourself go on your own website and buy something, we're going to pay you commission. Depending on your ranking, depending on how much sales you've had, determines whether it's going to be between 20 to 50%. And if anyone purchases over $75, it's free shipping. And then they're going to get affordable, natural, and organic products. I mean, rarely do you hear those words in the same sentence. Affordable, natural, and organic. And if you just do that alone, you've got to make sure you get certified if you get that personal dispensary. So the retail sales, you make anywhere from 20 to 50%. And again, you make overrides. There are product bonuses available to you. The broker earnings, you get overrides. You get $200 or $50. The wealth pool is available to you no matter what. When your ranking starts at sapphire all the way to diamond, you get shares from the wealth pool. 3, 10, 20, 40, 60 shares from the wealth pool. Diamond is our highest ranking. Diamonds get shares from a different wealth pool. Car allowance, free trips, $500 every time when you're a diamond. Every time you hit that diamond, $500. And then we're taking a trip to the motherland. Hopefully this year, we're going to see what's going to be taking place in the country that we live in right now. But the bottom line is, put yourself in a position right now. You need a home-based business. I'm so glad we have a home-based business, because when we look at the computer, whether we go back to work immediately or later, we can still see things happening. So it's the path to business ownership. It's a great tax breakup, a tax where you get tax breaks. You can control your time and your money, and you're earning extra money, and you're able to do something that many of us have had difficulty doing right now, and that's spending time with our families. That's part of why we're in this situation right now. God knows what it takes to get folk to spend time with their children, with their spouses. You know, Dr. Rita they say she's going to have more babies to deliver in 9 months from now. She said, well, we'll see. It might be the opposite. There might be more lawyers having divorces because it depends on how you're able to live. I'm grateful. I'm blessed that I enjoy my husband. So which one, where do you want to get started? You want to get started with the business. I know you want to get product. That's a given. You got to have it. We got to build up our immune system. And remember what Dr. Rita said. Vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc, along with CBD. Get your product now. My website's on my Facebook page. My website's available. My number's there somewhere on my Facebook page. Call me, text me, you got questions. Start with the Crown Jewel Dispensary at $9.98. Get a $2,000 value. $2.99 for the $500 value. But just get started. Now, if you've got questions, if you're already a customer, I've told you what to do. Get back with the person who invited you on the call. If it wasn't me, call them up and say, help me get going. And show me what to do. Give me your website. If you got questions, ask. Ask the questions. Get your questions answered. And get started with that Crown Jewel Dispensary at $9.98. Because you got on here, and that means you're in the right place at the right time. We'll be back at 5 o'clock. If you've got somebody you want them to hear this, this was the 2 o'clock, right? Yeah. We'll be back at 5 p.m. That'll be our last one today, and then we're starting over again tomorrow at 10, 12, 2, and 5 p.m. And then we have one tonight. So ask the person, what time is the one tonight? It's a conference call tonight. Today's Monday, so it's a conference call. Tomorrow it'll be a webinar. Wednesday it's a webinar. Thursday it's a conference call. But we've got information that we want to share with you. So thank you so much for being on. Have a great and blessed day. Have a great Wakana evening. Bye-bye for now.